Alrighty, folks. I only have one question only today for Taylor, and that is President Trump a mafia boss? Folks, if you don't know what I'm talking about, apparently in the last 48 hours, both NVIDIA and AMD have been hit for a payment of 15% to sell certain chips to foreign countries. This feels very much like protection that a mafia boss would deploy. I don't know if this has ever been done before. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. Maybe back in the oil and gas days, maybe in the dot-com craze. I don't know, but this feels very one-off and unusual. So, Taylor, I got to ask, you've been on Wall Street for 12 plus years. Is President Trump just running protection racket and he's a mafia boss? Or what the hell is going on?
It is an interesting move, no doubt about it. I think you could argue the mafia boss on several different levels here, which we certainly can get into. But the topic at hand of deploying this 15% rate, it's like he is now in this situation where he has to prioritize economic growth or national security. And this is the way of trying to bridge the gap between the two, of saying, all right, we'll let you do it, but you're going to pay for it. And at the same time, on the other end, God bless, hopefully this doesn't allow you to create weapons, et cetera, that are going to combat us or our lead, not necessarily weapons, when it comes to AI and that game that we're playing.
So I had not thought of it that way, but let's play this out historically, and please tell me if I have any of this wrong. So we had limitations on AMD and NVIDIA on certain chips for years. Mm-hmm. NVIDIA does what they do. I'm just going to say NVIDIA. It includes all the chip makers. But NVIDIA does what they do. They roll out new products and new products and new products. This thing, the H20 or whatever the heck it's called, comes out. It's not under regulation, so they sell it, right? It kind of skirts the rules or whatever. Then out of nowhere, Trump comes in and says, nope, that's also now on the list. NVIDIA reports that is going to cost them an estimated $50 billion over the course of several years by not selling these. And President Trump basically walks in and goes, you know what? How much do you want it? How bad do you want it?
That's exactly right.
That's what he said. And he basically now, again, if you do the math, NVIDIA is going to pay roughly $3.5 billion to have permission to sell these chips. But that's a lot better than $50 billion.
Totally.
So, and again, if either you are concerned about national security or you are not. Right. We stopped this because we didn't want them to have our latest and greatest chips.
Yep.
But now what I'm hearing is, oh, it's okay if they have it as long as we get 15% of it. I mean, like either it's national security or it isn't. I really don't understand this. This legitimately feels like a mafia boss move asking for protection.
It does. Crazy. And NVIDIA's standing there going, let's do it at 15%. Our profit margins are like 68% to the bottom line.
Of course they would do it. Would you, do you want to lose 50 billion? Or do you want to lose, what would it be? 50 billion or 46.5 billion? Yeah, I'll take the it's crazy.
Right. And do you want to spur on competition of China doing their own thing and making their own chips there and completely circumventing you out of the business? Supply chains are not something that happen overnight. So if they're out and NVIDIA is not able to be sold, they're going to start building and developing, and then NVIDIA might be out forever. But now we're back in it. And to your point, I mean, there's lots of mob mentality that comes out of, just the bullying in general that he does of Jerome Powell or whomever else, that it's his way of negotiating. And this one, to your point, it's national security or it's not. And
I don't get it.
At first it was national security, and now it's not.
It's just all negotiation. It's just all negotiation. And again, this is a serious question. So I've been studying the economy, have an MBA, been doing this a long time. I do not know of any other public company being asked to pay a VIG for protection, but maybe I missed something. So are there examples of companies having to pay the U.S. government that you're aware of?
Not that I know of. And the only time you could think of something like that would be, hey, back when we get the oil embargo of the 70s.
That's what I was thinking
back then, because we don't have, we're producing some oil at that point and we're exporting some oil at that point. But then the Middle East cuts us off and we can't afford to export anything, even if it's higher margins elsewhere, and the government may have stepped in. That would be the easy example that potentially could have happened. But I still, with all that known, I don't know that had taken place.
Yeah, that's exactly where I went. I'm like, do we have any examples of this? And I was thinking the 70s in oil as well, right? We got cut off. We needed national production. We there was probably penalties or whatnot put in place. Again, I don't know that, but it made me feel not much better, but a little better right? Going, we've been here before, but this just doesn't feel right. Again, you sell it as national security, and then you say, well, hey, if I get 15% of it, I'll look the other way.
And I think it's a combination of national security economically and national security defensively, right? So we are seemingly in the lead by about a lap and a half when it comes to generative AI right now. And we know that upon necessity breeds outcomes that can happen really quickly. And we saw that with DeepSeek. So they weren't able to access our newest chips. And DeepSeek comes to market and says, hey, right, wrong, or indifferent, and you believe what they say. But they nonetheless did a much more efficient job using much less powerful chips in generating something that could compete with something like ChatGPT. So I think that's interesting. The economic side. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because you are pointing at something that I heard David Sachs on the All In podcast kind of argue. I think this was 6 months ago about the embargo, basically saying, I think it's to your point earlier, if we keep NVIDIA out, it'll be the mother of invention and they will eventually create something. Sure, it may not happen overnight, but a year and a half from now, they'll have their own stack. They'll be doing it their own way. And then we're nowhere. Right. So,
but I still think that if you give them the turbocharger on their engine, which is what NVIDIA is giving them right now, as a result of this, their stack becomes more efficient and their background delay versus where we're at right now, that gap gets closed incrementally faster.
Yeah. Well, let's play this one step further. Again, one of the things that, I've witnessed about Trump is when he finds a vein, he will keep mining it. So apparently he's found a vein with AMD and NVIDIA. Who's next? Yeah. Who else is going to have to pay protection?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, technology is where we have the massive lead. Like that is.
Oh, is it? I mean, is it Apple? Is Apple going to have to pay a vig to sell this? Is I don't know. I mean, this is such a slippery slope to me.
It is.
That
it's kind of the opposite of capitalism, right? At the end of the day, capitalism is a free market, and now we're going to start limiting this company versus this one, and expect this one to be able to.
Well, it's not limiting. It's paying a vig. It's paying protection. That's not capitalism. That's freaking mob behavior.
This is Bumpy Johnson in Harlem in 1964.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to destroy your business unless you pay me.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because I think most of the time when you interrupt free markets, it winds up being not the greatest result at the end of the day. And so we'll see what the result is, and it's going to take time, right? And the counterpunch to that is NVIDIA's profit margins are so wide that they
but again, this is, I mean, sure, NVIDIA and AMD can eat it. I mean, that's essentially what they did. And they're going to eat it for legit reasons, right? They don't want to lose 50 billion. They'd rather lose $3.5 billion. Right. It's I mean, every CEO would make that call in twice on Sunday.
You're concerned with the precedent?
Yeah, I'm concerned what's next.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, Trump is he's very predictable.
Yeah.
He found a winning strategy. He extracted, by some accounts, $30 billion.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, shit, I did that once. I'm going to do it again. I'm like, who's next?
Yeah.
That's where this is going. I'm not cool with that.
Yeah, well, I agree with you that I'm not cool with it either. But the other side of this is we have a debt issue. And do we go after things like Social Security that affect every aging American that has no vote coming behind it? Or do we start to go after the ultra rich, which is a debatable topic that a lot of people will stand behind, and others that are entrepreneurs themselves or know how business works say that doesn't work. You got to incentivize people to grow and build businesses and the economy to boom. So my point of all of this is we need to find some strings to start to pull.
Yep.
And where
that was tariffs. I mean, again, arguably tariffs.
Certainly.
This is, I mean, am I crazy to kind of equate this 15% to just kind of a reverse tariff? Meaning it's not, it's just another form of a tariff.
I think that's almost exactly what it is. Yeah. Hey, we're going to tax our exporter.
Exactly. Not an importer. Now we're taxing exporters. It's a reverse tariff.
What's that do to the budget deficit? Wasn't that our concern to begin with? Is if we start limiting? As you peel at it more, you scratch the back of your head a little more. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting, folks. Again, please in the comments below, tell me where this has been done before. I would love to know there's a historical precedent. We both think it's the 70s and oil. Maybe it's nat gas at some point. Again, I think AI tech and commodities kind of have similarity. So maybe it has happened and this is just a repeat that I'm not aware of, which I would feel 100 times better if this happened before.
Also, I would love to see in the comments just the thought of the logic. Like, can you come up with a logic that isn't broken by the second iterative thinking?
Yeah. Is this mob boss behavior? Let's just ask the question. Is Trump nothing but a mob boss? Let us know in the comments below. Taylor, where can people find you?
Appreciate the hell out of you. Yeah, find us at Life Goal Investments. We're on Instagram and TikTok.
Folks, you got to check him out on Instagram. He does these 60-second clips, which feel like 3 minutes, given all the value there. Check him out. Send him a note. Thanks.
Appreciate you.